Hey guys, it's Caitlin Marie. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing something that I have not done, but I have. So, basically, it's another ranking video because I'm in love with those. But basically, like I've been saying, I have movies on Netflix. And I made a whole list of movies that I was going to watch that are on Netflix. And I was like, why don't I just rate these all and then rate Netflix movies worst to best? So it's not like Netflix originals, it's just movies that are on Netflix. And I saw this list last year. Like, I think in May. But what happened is I'd keep adding new Netflix movies to my list before I even finished the list I was already working on. So the list would just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I kind of just stopped, like not like stopped the list, but kind of just after the movies I did, I wrote them all down and ranking them. So there's still Netflix movies. This is going to be a part series. This is part 1 because there's a whole bunch of movies on Netflix and I'm going to try and rate them. But because of Netflix probably does not have these movies still on it. So in my description, have the movie and we'll have if it's still on Netflix, and if it isn't on Netflix, then we'll have what streaming service it's on or how much you can rent it for. So, without further ado, here are my social medias, and let's just get started. So the first movie on my list that I hated, that I never watch again, is What Keeps You Alive, 2018. So, basically, I need some new thing to hold my phone up, and I don't know how I feel about it right now. So I'm sorry, I keep messing with it to find where I like it at. It's basically we have this couple. They move to, I guess, vacation house thingy. And it kind of turns out that the one couple, like the one girlfriend, was trying to kill the other girlfriend. So basically you have a couple, and the one is trying to run away from the other girlfriend because she's trying to kill her. So that is my movie. Trash. Really dumb. Really slow. I went halfway in. I was debating if I should shut it off or not. Do not recommend. But I give it a 4.5 out of 10. And then, we have Seed of Chucky. This one, again, did not recommend. It's trash. We have another one, the Chucky franchise. Why did I say that? Franchise. But basically, we have Chucky and then Bride of Chucky, I forgot her name. They have a kid. And the kid is a doll too. If you guys don't know about dolls. Now, body parts, can't really tell. Like you can tell, but you can't. So, the seed, the child, has trouble knowing if it is a girl or a boy, or what it feels like most. So they fight over if it's a girl or a boy. It's just so dumb. Like, honestly, of all the Chucky movies, this one had to be the worst. Like, it had nothing in it. I felt like there was just nothing. So I didn't enjoy it. But I give it a 5 out of 10. And then we have Leprechaun, which I didn't expect to be good because, again, it was made in 1993. And movies, if I see like a 19 in front of it, I'm like, okay, I can't really expect like a masterpiece. So, you know. But basically, I was expecting it because I thought it would be better because of like the hype. But Jennifer Aniston is in it, if you guys don't understand, from Friends. Rachel from Friends. Love her. So that's like the only good thing. Basically, we have this Leprechaun, and he wants his gold. And he will kill whoever he has to get his gold, and then he can get people to stop killing him if he gets his gold. And the worst part is, as people move into a house, and it was like a couple like 100 years before, someone found his gold and they hid it, but then they trapped the Leprechaun. When the Leprechaun escaped, so like new people moved in, they had no talking about with the gold. So they're trying to survive to find gold, but they don't know what the heck the gold is. So there's that. Really boring. It's the second one. I'm not going to waste my time trying to watch it. That got a 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. Then, we watched the Green Inferno, which is like Cannibal Holocaust. So if you have not watched Cannibal Holocaust, don't. Green Inferno is better. Basically the same thing. Basically, you have these people, and they go into an Amazon forest to try, I think, to save the forest, but then it turns out there are these weird cannibal thingies, so they're kind of like being tortured by these cannibal thingies. And then they circumcise a girl, and it's just, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the end. The movie was okay. I think I'm like in between. I'm hating it and enjoying it. It was like, okay. But I give that a 5 out of 10. And then we watched Head Count. I'm always like, that's on Netflix. But this is a Netflix movie, so of course it's going to be on Netflix. We have Head Count. And honestly, I was expecting this to be better. Like, when you hear what it's about, I was really expecting it to be better than what it was. But basically, you have these people in this desert place, and this spirit, it can like take someone else's body and they'll try to kill people. So like, you would like what were you doing back there? I just saw you, because it's like it takes your body. I think it can like, I don't know, the movie was okay at first, but it just started getting kind of ridiculous. And I'm really bad at explaining this movie. So, I'm sorry. But that got another 5 out of 10. Then, I watched the Autopsy of Jane Doe. And honestly, I wasn't expecting a big masterpiece out of this one either, just because I'm not a big fan of supernatural movies. So if you like supernatural movies, you'll probably like this one. But basically, I think it is kind of cool considering we have Jane Doe. Because what it means, it's like an unidentified body, a dead person, Jane Doe. Actually called Dead Girl, and then Dead Boy is John Doe. So they're trying to like do an autopsy on her, like this man and his son, to find out what caused her death. And the more they go into it, the more like kind of creepier it gets, and like supernatural stuff starts to happen. So it's okay. I don't know how I feel about the end, but yeah, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. And then we have Barbie and Chelsea, The Last Birthday. Now again, it's a Barbie movie. You're not gonna expect a masterpiece, because after Who Knows Where, there's a line where the movie is just, when Netflix started making the Barbie movies, that is when they completely started to suck. I think the last good Barbie movie that I actually enjoyed would have to be Video Game Hero. Anything after that, no. Basically, we have Barbie and her sisters, and we have her parents, and I think it's cool that, like, with the Netflix, we get to see the parents. But they're on this cruise, and it kind of is like a day jump, so it'll go like from like March 28th to March 30th. So she didn't really lose her birthday, but it kind of felt like she lost her birthday. And then Chelsea goes onto this like hunt thingy to get a wish to have her birthday back. It's cute. It's a musical. What do you expect? That got 6 out of 10. And then we have the Smurfs. In case you don't know what the Smurfs are, it's from the TV show. They go to New York City. You know, 6 out of 10. Then we have the Roommate. This one is Kat Grant. Oh, has Nina Dobrev, and has Blair Waldorf from Gossip Girl. So we have like awesomeness. This movie is kind of cool. There is a scene with the cat. Do not watch with the cat. I should give it a watch because I feel like it doesn't really deserve a 6 out of 10, but it's good. Basically, this girl moves into college and she gets a roommate, and the roommate kind of becomes like crazy or whatever, and just really like possessive of the girl. So it's just like, and the roommate kind of starts to take over her life. Like she gets a tattoo, and then like every time someone hurt her and made like the girl upset, the roommate would like kill him. Or if anyone tried to take away from the girl, the roommate would kill him. So it is kind of cool. Give 6 out of 10. And then we watched Circle. This one, I've watched it 2 times. It honestly, it's slow, but the concept of it is kind of cool. But basically have all like these random people, ages from like 9 to like 85. And they're all like different people, like completely different people. And in a circle. And if they move, they die. And at the same amount of time, they get to like kind of choose who dies. So it's kind of funny to see like the way to try and justify it, how to pick out who should die first, or who should die, and trying to see what people would pull to live. Yeah, so it's kind of cool. 6 out of 10. The ending though, I didn't really understand it all. And when we have the ritual, this one. Had these friends, and I think the friend died or committed suicide. They go on this hike, and then some weird stuff starts to happen. Turns out that this monster is after them, but then it turns out that there's this like group where they get stuck, and they do a sacrifice for the monster. Movie's okay. 6.5 out of 10. I know I'm doing like really short summaries of these. I haven't watched these movies since last year, so my mind on them isn't exactly really good because I kind of forget. Then we have Green Room. This one, it's like hostile. So if you guys cannot deal with like really like gory stuff, do not watch Green Room or the Green Inferno. But basically, just took my nail off. We have these punk rocker band, and then go to this gig. And I think as they're leaving, they see something they're not supposed to. So they trap themselves into this room, and then when they try to leave, they kind of die. It's slow at first before it starts to get to where it's supposed to get, but then once it gets to where it's supposed to get, then it becomes good. So it gets a 6.5 out of 10. And then we have Bird Box. Watched it twice. Honestly, I expected it to be like, when I first watched it, to be better because of all the hype it got when it first came out. But my woman, Sarah Paulson, was in it. Amazing. I didn't really like the beginning because in the beginning it shows a woman with a boy and girl, kids, and they're on a boat. But then it goes like a year before, and then, you know, but basically it's like, you don't even see the animal, which I wish you would see what they would see. Basically there's this thing and you can't look. Like, you know, like, don't look, you know. And if you see it, you see something so horrible, you try to kill yourself. So I wish we got to see what they were seeing that was so horrible that they would want to kill themselves. So these group of strangers kind of locked themselves up in a house. And the one girl was pregnant. And then it kind of switched between them and the house, trying to survive, to a woman with 2 kids trying to row a boat. So that's one part I don't really like because then you can kind of, like see, okay, the woman is the only one who survives. Because of that whole group of strangers, you only see the woman. So I did not like that. But it had MGK and it had like a sex scene that was like really like 5 seconds worth. So I really recommend it because it's a pretty decent movie. I do wish we got to see what they were seeing. You know. But I give it a 6.5 out of 10. And then we have Prom Night. We have the remake. I feel like I should try and watch the original. Again. Basically, it's like, they say it's a remake, but if you go like the original and this one, they are like completely different. So I'm going to call them standalone movies. But this movie, basically this girl has this teacher, and he's like stalks her. And then he goes crazy, and one night when she's not home, he kills her entire family, but like, then she comes home, when everyone's dead, but the mom's still kind of alive, and she's under the bed hiding, so she sees it. And that happened, I think, in her 10th grade year, and then into her 12th grade senior prom, and he gets out of jail. So she's at prom trying to enjoy her night, and the guy, the weird teacher that killed her parents, is after her. I think it's pretty interesting. I liked it. 6.5 out of 10. I even got the movie on DVD. And then we have Sinister II, which I don't know what exactly I did. But yeah, Sinister II, the first one. That one is not on Netflix anymore. So I think that's why it's not on it. But basically, it is a second part of Sinister 1. And you kind of gotta watch it. But the whole gist of Sinister There's these tapes about people getting brutally murdered. And the tapes are kind of worse than the second one. So, if you go to this house where like a kid was murdered and weird stuff will happen, but then if you move out of the house, then you get killed, and the kid does to kill it. So it's a pretty decent movie. The ending makes you think there's gonna be a third one, but there hasn't been a third one. I mean, this came out 2015 and it's 2021. So yeah. Oh, and if you guys cannot talk about domestic abuse, I do not recommend you watch this. In the movie, the woman was trying to keep her 2 sons away from the father, and he was abusive. So if you cannot deal with that, or triggers you, I just don't watch. Then we see Things Seen and Heard. This one just came out. This one, again, if you're into supernatural movies, you would like this one more than I did. But basically, we have this woman, and her husband moved to this new town. And then something happens with the house, and like the woman's kind of like a stay-at-home mom, and the father is like, or the man is like a professor somewhere. So like, she's in the house, and weird stuff starts happening. And it's of course supernatural stuff, but like, it's really slow, and then it just started trying to get like all over the place. And then I give that 7 out of 10. And then I watched Roll Red Roll. This one is like a documentary one. Basically, it is about this girl, and then she killed herself, and I'm pretty sure she did it because she was raped. So I kind of talk about that, trying to prove that, you know, what happened to her, and just talking about her and what happened and everything. So I think it's interesting. I think I like this documentary series. I mean, they're really sad because you know what actually happened, but I think they're pretty interesting. I say give it a watch. 7 out of 10. Then we have Would You Rather. This one, awesome. And I think that it's the same girl who starred in Prom Night. It's the same one who plays in Would You Rather. This one, so good. Again, if you cannot deal with gory stuff, don't watch. Basically, this girl, her brother, I think he has leukemia. So, So of course she needs a bone marrow transplant so he can get better. But of course she also needs money because, you know, money for radiation and stuff. So then she talks to this guy, and he says, "Go to a dinner party, and I'll give you money with, you know, and like a donor for your brother." So then she goes, and it turns out that it's Would You Rather. It's not just like eat a hamburger or eat a sausage. It's like, would you rather get your eye poked out, get smacked 6 times, like stuff like that. It gets like worse because first she starts make a vegan eat something, and then make an alcoholic drink, but then it just starts to become more and more. So it does start to get gory, and there is this scene. I don't remember if it happens or not, but there is this children's scene with a man and the woman, and the ending makes you think. But this one got a 7 out of 10. And then this one, oh my gosh, it's called Like Father. It is the most funniest movie ever. So we had this one, and it's her wedding day, and then, you know, they're getting married, and on the wedding day, when they say I do, the man says I don't. So she has this entire like honeymoon cruise plan for her and her, you know, fiance, but then it turns out that her and her father go on instead. So she's kind of like work, like more into her work than anything else. So like the father tries to get like a better relationship with his daughter. I think it's really funny. It's a cute movie. I recommend to watch it. It's a nice family movie. And I got a 7 out of 10. And then this one we have American Murder, The Family Next Door. This one is a pretty recent thing. I think it's a Netflix one, so I think it's like a Netflix movie. Basically we have this wife, and then I think her 2 kids, and she's pregnant. They go missing. They do a documentary to kind of find out what happened. and then when you kind of find out who killed them, and it's one of the why this person kills them. It's really good, honestly. I mean, documentaries, if you don't like those, I wouldn't watch, but it is a pretty interesting story. And the reason why the person killed them is really just makes you want to slap them. But I give that 7.5 out of 10. And that is all I have for today. Hope you enjoyed this video. Well, basically, I just ranked them all. Is there any movies on Netflix you want me to watch? Put it down in the comment section below. If I can speak, that'd be nice. But I will see you next Thursday. So bye.